Hello, this presentation is for cardiovascular system. Initially, to start with, let us look at what is systemic circulation. The systemic circulation provides functional blood supply to all body tissues. The heart pumps oxygenated blood out of the left ventricle and into the aorta to begin systemic circulation. Then through the arteries and to the capillaries in the tissues of the body. And returns deoxygenated blood to the right atrium of the heart via the venules, veins, and vena cava. Next, let's look at what is pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation describes the movement of blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. It transports deoxygenated blood to the lungs to absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide. The oxygenated blood then flows back to the heart. In simple terms, the deoxygenated blood from the right side of the heart moves to the pulmonary artery and the lungs. The exchange of gases takes place in the pulmonary capillaries, and oxygenated blood returns to the heart via the pulmonary vein and to the left side of the heart. Next, let us look at the heart chambers. The heart has four chambers, two atria and two ventricles. The right atrium receives oxygen poor blood from the body and via the tricuspid valve pumps it to the right ventricle. The right ventricle pumps the oxygen poor blood to the lungs. The left atrium receives oxygen rich blood from the lungs and via the mitral valve pumps it to the left ventricle. The left ventricle pumps the oxygen rich blood to the entirety of the body. So to remember, the deoxygenated blood is always on the right side of the heart, which is right atrium and right ventricle, and the oxygenated blood is always on the left side of the heart, which is the left atrium and left ventricle. And yeah, the valve between right atrium and right ventricle is tricuspid valve, and the valve between left atrium and left ventricle is mitral valve. Next, let us look at the layers of the heart. These are endocardium, myocardium, and epicardium. The endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart that lines the chambers of the heart. It lines the inner surfaces of the heart chambers, including the heart valves. Next, myocardium. Myocardium is the muscular middle layer of the wall of the heart. It is composed of spontaneously contracting cardiac muscle fibers, which allow the heart to contract. Heart contraction is an autonomic or involuntary function of the peripheral nervous system. Next, epicardium. Epicardium is the outermost layer of the heart. It is actually the visceral layer of the serous pericardium, which adheres to the myocardium of the heart. Next, let us look at the pathway of blood through the heart chambers. The blood from the systemic circulation is received in the right atrium and enters the right ventricle via the tricuspid valve. As the right ventricle contracts, the deoxygenated blood enters the pulmonary artery via the pulmonary valve. The tricuspid valve stays shut, preventing backflow of the blood. The pulmonary artery then branches into left and right lungs carrying deoxygenated blood. The blood enters the lung capillaries, then loses carbon dioxide into the lung tissues, and carbon dioxide is expelled and oxygen is absorbed. The oxygenated blood is returned to the heart via the pulmonary vein uh, to the left atrium. The blood flows to the left ventricle via the mitral valve. The left ventricle propels the oxygenated blood to the aorta through the aortic valve, which further branches to carry blood throughout the body. Let us look at yeah, it's a more revised version. Yeah, let's look at the pathway of the blood again uh, on the slide. The right and left side of the heart work together. The pattern described below is repeated over and over, causing blood to flow continuously to the heart, lungs, and the body. Onto the right side of the heart, the blood enters the heart through the two large veins, the inferior and superior vena cava, emptying oxygen poor blood from the body into the right atrium. As the atrium contracts, the blood flows from the right atrium into the right ventricles through the open tricuspid valve. When the ventricle is full, the tricuspid valve shuts. This prevents blood from flowing backwards into the right atrium while the ventricle contracts. And yeah, as the ventricle contracts, the blood leaves the heart through the pulmonary valve or pulmonic valve into the pulmonary artery and to the lungs where it is oxygenated. The oxygenated blood then returns to the heart through the pulmonary veins. Next, on to the left side of the heart, yeah. The pulmonary veins empty oxygen rich blood from the lungs into the left atrium. As the atrium contracts, blood flows from the left atrium into the left ventricle through the open mitral valve. When the ventricle is full, the mitral valve shuts. This prevents blood from flowing backwards into the atrium while the ventricle contracts. As the ventricle contracts, blood leaves the heart through the aortic valve into the aorta and to the body. And to be more precise, let's look at the blood flow through the lungs. Once blood travels through the pulmonic valve, it enters the lungs. This is called as pulmonary circulation. From the pulmonic valve, the blood travels to the pulmonary artery and eventually to the tiny capillaries or capillary vessels in the lungs. Here, oxygen travels from the tiny air sacs in the lungs through the walls of the capillaries into the blood. At the same time, carbon dioxide, a waste product of metabolism, passes from the blood into the air sacs, and the carbon dioxide leaves the body when we exhale. Once the blood is oxygenated, it travels back to the left atrium through the pulmonary vein. And we should also learn how does the heart beat. The atria and ventricles work together, alternatingly contracting and relaxing to pump the blood through the heart. This is the heartbeat. The electrical system of the heart is the power source that makes this possible. The heartbeat is triggered by electrical impulses that travel down a special pathway through the heart. The impulse starts in the small bundle of specialized cells called the SA node or sinoatrial node located in the right atrium. This node is also known as the heart's natural pacemaker. The electrical activity spreads through the walls of the atria and cause them to contract. At rest, a normal heart beats around 50 to 90 times a minute. With exercise, emotions, anemia, and an overactive thyroid, fever, or due to some medications, it can cause heart to beat faster, sometimes well over 100 beats per minute. And we also need to know about coronary arteries. Like all organs in the heart, the heart is also the heart is also made of tissues that require supply of oxygen and nutrients. Although its chambers are full of blood, the heart receives no nourishment from this blood. The heart receives its own supply of blood from a network of arteries called as coronary arteries. And let's also get an understanding how does the blood travel through the heart. As the heart pumps, or as the heart beats, it pumps blood through the system of blood vessels called the circulatory system. These vessels are elastic, muscular tubes that carry blood to every part of the body. Blood is essential. In addition to carrying fresh oxygen from the lungs and nutrients to the body tissues, it also takes the body's waste products, including carbon dioxide, away from the tissues. This is necessary to sustain life and promote the health of all the body tissues. There are three main types of blood vessels to know. The arteries. The arteries carry oxygen-rich blood away from the heart to all the body tissues. They branch several times, becoming smaller and smaller as they carry blood uh, for further from the heart into the and into the organs. Next, capillaries. These are small, thin blood vessels that connect the arteries and the veins. Their thin walls allow oxygen, nutrients, carbon dioxide, and other waste products to pass to and from the from the cells. Next, veins. These are blood vessels that take blood back to the heart. This blood contains less oxygen and is rich in waste products that are to be excreted or removed from the body. Veins become larger as they get closer to the heart. The superior vena cava is the large vein that brings blood from the head and arms to the heart, and inferior vena cava brings blood from the abdomen and legs into the heart. Blood flows continuously through the body's blood vessels. The heart is the pump that makes it all possible.